You know, when you think back to your old biology class, what comes to mind? For a lot of us, it's just endless memorization, right? Well, what if I told you that's all changing? We got a peek at some new teaching guides, and honestly, they reveal a full-blown revolution happening in science classrooms. It's a huge shift away from just remembering facts to something way more powerful. Let's get into it.
All right, first, let's take a quick trip down memory lane. Picture your old high school biology class. I'm betting for most of us, it was a world of heavy textbooks, really complicated diagrams, and just a ton of memorizing.
Yeah, does this ring a bell? Page after page of terms you had to define, parts of a cell you had to label. The whole game wasn't really about understanding how it all worked, it was just about recall. Could you spit back the right name and the right definition on the test?
And this right here just perfectly captures the entire shift. The old question, define the mitochondrion, that's purely a memory test. The answer's right there in the book. But the new question, why do muscle cells have more mitochondria than skin cells? Whoa, that forces you to actually think. You have to connect what the mitochondrion does with what a muscle cell needs. See? It's a move from what to why.
So how do you even start to make that jump from what to why? Well, it all kicks off with one simple but really powerful idea. It's not about throwing out the facts, not at all. It's about looking at them through a totally new lens, framing everything around a single core concept.
And here it is. This is the golden rule. Function depends on structure. Think about it. Everything in biology, from a tiny little protein to a whole ecosystem, is built a certain way for a very specific reason. Its shape, its structure, is what allows it to do its job, its function. This is the key that unlocks everything.
And check out how this plays out in the real world. Those alveoli in our lungs, well, their structure, millions of these tiny little sacs creates a massive surface area for one specific job, grabbing oxygen super fast. Or a neuron, a nerve cell. Its long fin shape is purpose-built for its function, firing signals across your body in an instant. Once you start seeing this pattern, you just stop memorizing parts and you start seeing purpose.
Now, this whole idea doesn't just stop at individual cells. No. It scales all the way up, and it helps students see the entire human body as this one big, dynamic, interconnected system.
We've all seen this classic hierarchy 1,000 times, right? Cells make up tissues, tissues make up organs, and so on. The old way was just to memorize these levels. But the new way? It asks a much more interesting question.
Right. The real question, the one that actually matters, is about the interaction. How does the respiratory system talk to the circulatory system? How does the nervous system coordinate the whole shebang? It's about seeing the body not as a list of parts, but as a finely tuned team where everyone's working together to keep you going.
Just think about exercise. Your muscles are working hard, they need more oxygen. So your nervous system signals your respiratory system to start breathing faster. Then it tells your circulatory system, hey, pump that blood quicker to deliver all that fresh oxygen. It's this beautiful, coordinated dance. And understanding that interplay, that's what systems thinking is really all about.
And this might be the most exciting part of this whole revolution. It's that the learning doesn't just stay inside the classroom. The whole point is to connect this scientific way of thinking direct to the world that we all actually live in.
So instead of just reading about abstract concepts, students are actually applying them. They're becoming data scientists by running health surveys in their own school. They're becoming public health advocates by designing actual campaigns, you see? They're not just learning science anymore, they are doing science.
And this approach means they tackle really complex, real-world issues. Take something like herd immunity. Understanding this isn't just about biology, it's about society. It forces a conversation about ethics, about community responsibility, about how one person's choice can impact the most vulnerable people around them. And all of a sudden, science class isn't just about cells, it's about how we all live together.
So, what does this all add up to? Well, it's way more than just a new curriculum. It's a completely different mindset about what it even means to learn science.
This is the real goal. The end game here isn't to create walking encyclopedias of biological facts. It's to build a mindset, a way of looking at the world with curiosity, always asking why, and then using evidence to figure out how things actually work. It's about training a generation of problem solvers.
And this way of thinking, it applies literally everywhere. Doesn't matter if you're talking about cellular biology or public health or ecology. The core skill is exactly the same. Connect the structure to the function, see the entire system, and apply what you know to real-world problems.
And that leaves us with a pretty powerful question to think about.
Just imagine a generation of citizens, and I don't just mean future scientists, I mean all of us. Imagine if we were all equipped with this way of thinking. People who can analyze complex systems, who get cause and effect, who make decisions based on evidence. What kind of challenges, from public health crises to climate change, what could we solve?